So we need to discuss today variable topic. So what is a variable? And we need to understand why do you need variables and variable syntaxes. We have to understand. So variable is one of the member in the class, which is used to store the value in a memory, right? You want to store a value and you will use variable concept. So every variable has three properties. So one is a name. Variable has a name, right? And what type of data you are storing in that variable, and what is the value you want to store. These are the three types of properties it has. So the type of variable, the kind of value it can hold, such as an integer, a floating value, or a number, or a boolean, or character, any kind of data you can store. So we use a name to distinguish one variable from another variable. So like every person has a name, right? I can call with your name. You can call with your name. So we are able to distinguish with a name. Same way, variable name also to distinguish different variables. That purpose we use a name. So variable type determines the kind of values or data you are going to store there. So the value is the specific value or specific information or data what you want to store. So the variable naming conventions are, so you have to follow this. You can use a camel case with a starting small character for a variable or method names. Use self-explanatory name for the variable name, and use camel case for variables. If it is a combination of two or more words, just first word all lowercase, second word onwards, each word first letter you give capital letters. So the names always are self-explanatory. Okay, you can see account ID, right? First name, right? Account reference ID. So like that, self-explanatory, the variable names. So that's how we need to provide. So variable should start with alphabet lowercase, and it contains alphanumerics. Alphanumerics it can contain. Variable name should start with a alphabet lowercase. It should not start with a number. Okay, so that's the how you can give variable names. See, here are some of the examples. Int age, see, one word, all lowercase. Double salary. So the meaningful, you're just declaring a variable. How to declare a variable? Data type, variable name, but you are not assigning a value. This is called variable declaration. So Boolean is married, right? Boolean is married. String name. Integer array, the square bracket means it's an integer array. Numbers is the variable array name, array variable name. You can also initialize a variable when you declare it by assigning it a value. So this is the only declaring a variable. Okay, please catch the difference. And assigning a value. Now this one is assigning a value. Int is equal to 35. Declared and initialize the variable. Here also double salary. Declared and assign the value. Declare and assign the value. See, now true is assigned to is married variable. John Smith is assigned to name variable. So these values are assigned to numbers array. String college name JNTU. Byte B4 equal to 25. Public starting to 9x. Is this a valid?
No.
Why?
Because it's starting a variable starting with a number, and it cannot. It starts with an alphabet.
It should not start with a number. Always it start with a alphabet. After alphabet, then you can have a numbers like this. First alphabet to then number. This is the valid, but this is not valid. because it is starting with a number. Variable name should not start with a number. Okay. So these are all the variable declarations. So just now we discussed it already. And these are all the assigning a value for them. And using this A you are using here, X you are using here. See, X3, first you are declared and assigned. In the next line, what you are doing? You are changing the value, X value, X plus 1. So that means 3 plus 1, 4. Now, X value 4, not 3. Right? That's the difference you need to catch. So we already know, again, I told assignment operator is just for assigning a value. Double equal to is basically for comparison, right? We use for comparison. Now we have variable types. So what are the different variable types we have? So we have a different variable types: local variable, instance variable, static variable. 3 types of variables we have. So what are the 3 types of variables? Local, instance, static variables. 3 types of variables we have. The first one is a local variable. So local variable means if you declare any variable inside the method body or block body, okay? Anything you declare inside the method body or block body, then those variables are called local variables. So local variables are accessible within that method body only, not outside the method. One method local variables you cannot use in another method, even in the same class also. So local variables, local means local to that part only, that area only. You cannot use that local variable in another method. You can write multiple methods in the same class, right? And first, suppose you created M1 and M2 method. M1 method you declared a variables. You cannot use them in another method. M2 method. M1 method local variables you cannot use in M2 method. M2 method variables you cannot use in M1 method. That is the local variables scope. So local variable scope is where? Inside that method body only. Local variables are allocated memory in stack memory. You remember that we discussed the memory areas. What are the different memory areas?
Method, heap, PC registers, native library 1, and then there's one more that I can't remember.
Heap, main one, heap. You discussed about heap? Did you tell about heap?
Yeah, I did. That was the second one I mentioned. So
okay.
Method, heap,
stack.
Yeah,
stack.
Yeah, stack.
Stack is the main one.
Stack is the other one that I forgot to mention.
So method area, heap, stack, PC register, native methods. Now all the local variables, see that, so local variable data stores where? In this stack memory. So that means these local variables so all the local variables data will go and store in this stack memory. Okay. So local variables automatically destroyed when the method execution is over. Once that method is executed, then local variables will be destroyed. For local variables, a default value is never assigned. So default value, if you declare local variables, so you have to assign a value if you want to use that variable. Without using, without assigning a value, you cannot use that. There is no default value for the local variables. You have to assign a value. Remember that, okay? So what is the local variable syntax? First, it starts with the data type, variable name equal to value. See, there is no access modifiers here. that means it's not a default, okay? We are not going to use any modifier keyword for the local variables except one keyword, that is final keyword. You can apply only final keyword for the local variables, no other modifier keyword. We have so many modifier keywords, right? But those things you cannot use for the local variable. Only final keyword you can use. So here is the one. Which modifier keyword can be used on the local variable? Final. What is the final local variable syntax? A final data type variable name equal to value. This is the local variable, final local variable syntax. This is the local variable syntax. Then what is the difference between these two? So this variable value you can change in the next line. Okay, if you do without final, you can change this variable value in the next line. But when you declare and assign a value with a final keyword, you cannot change this variable value to some other in the next line. So that means final keyword doesn't allow to modify any value. Once you assign, that's a final. You cannot change to some other value. In the next lines, you cannot assign a new value. Final variable values cannot be changed, cannot be assigned a new value. That's a final variable means. So here this is the one. Public class local variable demo, one class I created. I'm creating one static method. See, first I'm declaring local variables. So how I'm declaring local variables? What is the main criteria for the local variable? How can you say it is a local variable? It should be inside the method body. That's the first condition you have to check. Is this, if you want to say one variable, local variable, what is the first condition? It should be declared inside the method body. So check method syntaxes, you know already. Access modifier, static, void M1. Okay, method body inside means the curly braces inside only. Then say data type variable name equal to value. So int x equal to 10. Now x is a local variable. See, data type is x, integer. Variable name is x. Assignment operator. Value is 10. See, as it is, I am following this syntax or not? Are you there?
Yes. Yep.
Exactly. That's what. How can I say x is? Because it's inside the M1 method. Long L equal to 20. So I can use x to L here. And I am using some calculation. And that output I am assigning to another local variable, boolean b. This x to L b I cannot use in M2. Why? This is only for this method, not for M2 method. Okay. That's the local variables. Even M2 method, non-static method. See, I declared again float f b1 no d. So only I can use, see, I'm using here, f I'm using. I declared, assigned a value, I'm using here. That's it. I can use in the same method only, but not outside the method. That is called local